The white porcelain of white like the snow, and the quality was completed in the 15th first half of the century of a Mr. Korean age. Most kilns converted into the white porcelain in the 16th century. The country whole land was covered with the ore by Hideyoshi Toyotomi's invasion at the 16th end of the century, and a lot of potters were taken to Japan. Imari porcelain is the European collector's name for Japanese porcelain wares made in the town of Arita, in the former Hezen province, northwestern Kyushu, and exported from the port of Imari, Saga, specifically for the European export trade. In Japanese, these porcelains are known as Arita-yaki. The Keiō Imari and Iro Nagashima porcelains usually have painted decor of underglazed blue and iron red on a white ground. The subject matter is of foliage and flowers. Enamel colors other than blue and red are used in the Kakinmon porcelain. The porcelain has a gritty texture on the bases, where it is not covered by glaze. Imari ware imitated in Crown Derby porcelain. Early 19th century Imari was simply the transshipment port for Arita wares. The kilns at Arita formed the heart of the Japanese porcelain industry, which developed in the 17th century, after kaolin was discovered in 1616 by an immigrant Korean potter Yi Sampyeong, 1579–1655. Yi Sampyeong was kidnapped with his extended family, 180 persons, after the Japanese invasion in Korea in 1598. After the discovery, Arita kilns introduced Korean-style overglazing technique and refined designs from the political chaos China, where the Chinese kilns at Qingqishan were damaged in the political chaos and the new Qing dynasty government stopped trade in 1656–1684. The first porcelain made at Arita, imitating Chinese blue and white designs, was also widely exported to Europe through the Dutch East India Company, but the designation, Imari porcelain, connotes Arita wares more specifically designed to catch the European taste. Though sophisticated wares in authentic Japanese styles were being made at Arita for the fastidious home market, left square bracket 1 European export porcelains imitated Chinese underglaze, blue and white, wares were made use of enamel colors over underglazes of cobalt blue and iron red. The ware often used copious gilding, sometimes with spare isolated spread vignettes, but often densely patterned in compartments. There were two quite different styles in these wares. On the one hand a gaudy, rash brightly colored and highly decorated style, the Imari style, globular Imari teapots with swan-necked spouts helped establish the classic European form for these new necessities of life. Early experiments with overglazed colored enamels at Arita are associated with the famous Sakida Kakinmon, 1596–1666. Whose name is memorialized in Kakinmon, where the other main tradition in lightly fired overglazed enamel decors. Dutch traders had a monopoly on the insatiable export trade, the first large order being placed at Arita by the Dutch East India Company in 1656. The trade peaked in the late 17th century and was slowly replaced by Chinese kilns in the early 18th century. It ended in 1756, as social conditions in China settled with the full establishment of the Qing dynasty. Imitating Arita designs, fine, Chinese Imari export wares were produced in the 18th century, eclipsing the original Japanese exports. Chinese Imari patterns, as well as Kakinmon designs and palette of colors, influenced some early orientalizing wares produced by the porcelain manufactories at Meissen, Chantilly, or later at Vincennes. European centers imitated the style of Imari wares, initially in Fons at Delft in the Netherlands, and in the early 19th century at Robert Chamberlain's factory at Worcester. Bottker, who had left the experiment on the porcelain making in 1710, succeeded in making white porcelain in the Saxon territory finally. To monopolize the porcelain making, the Saxon Archduke installed the kiln in the Meissen,